recording in 3, 2. He's like, nope, I already pressed record. No. In 3, 2, 1. Welcome back to Opinions and Shit. We haven't recorded an episode in probably 7 months.
Yeah, something like that.
6 months? I don't even fucking know. You know what? I remember we recorded an episode and we didn't put it out, and this was like the week before everything like shut down.
Why did we say retard a bunch?
No, I'm pretty sure we were both just like, it'll be back to normal in a week. Like, I think it's just a whole episode of us just being like, it's fine. It'll be back to normal.
Yeah, I was wrong about that.
We all were.
I know. Because right before this started, remember you told me about like this bachelorette gig in July. And then
that didn't happen. They hit me up during quarantine.
Oh, but I thought quarantine was going to be done by then.
Oh, I know. I thought so too.
But I kind of wanted to cancel because I was afraid I was going to die.
No, you won't die.
Yeah. Should
Should we talk about that? Should that be our first
so. Yeah,
our first order of business?
Yeah.
I feel like you should just tell what happened from your perspective.
Well, we got there, a whole bunch of hot girls and 2 gay guys.
Yeah.
That was the demographic there. And then we did stand up in the living room. And it actually went pretty good.
It did. I agree. It was fun because we were not sure. Like the whole way up there, we were like, this is going to be awesome. Like bachelorette party, let's go. And then when we got like within 0.5 miles of the place or whatever, we were like, this isn't going to be good.
Well, the funny thing is that I was like, I'm not going to drink before this because I haven't done stand up in a long time. And I want to be like on point. But then we got there. And then when I walked in, I saw a girl getting something out of the oven and she just fell. Because like when she squatted, her center of balance went off, so she fell. So I was like, I'm taking a shot, because everybody's already shit faced. And then so we did stand up, and then afterwards we hung out in the jacuzzi with everybody.
Yes, we did. That was pretty great.
And apparently, when you're in a jacuzzi, you don't feel how drunk you are. Because when I was getting out, I just fell on everything.
Well, I also want to. So let me put my part of the story into this. I don't drink anymore, so I'm just completely sober. Well, I smoked a little bit of weed, but whatever. And I'm just watching all of this happen. And I'm in the jacuzzi. And Khaled, I don't know where the fuck you were, but then all of a sudden, you're just like, hey, what's up? And you're no hat. Oh, shit. New studio, getting used to it. You had no hat, no shirt. It it looked like a 40-year-old man at the YMCA.
Well, it was funny, too.
But yeah.
Before we get to the big thing, what happened is that I didn't come with a bathing suit because I don't have one. And so when I got there, the only other male bathing suits belonged to the gay guys.
Yeah, Kevin hooked you up.
Yeah, but the thing is, gay guys wear smaller bathing suits, generally speaking. I wear trunks. They're called trunks, and they go down below your knee. But they were wearing like what the Beatles wore in like '64 when they went to the Bahamas. It was like thigh high. Problem about that is my balls. So then when
well, first, before we even get to that, you dropped your jewel in the hot tub, and because at one point we were just sitting in the hot tub just chilling with everybody, and I look over at you, and you just have this 1,000-yard stare. Now we do have a visual aid. You can watch us on YouTube, by the way, if you're listening to this somewhere. But Khaled just gets this fucking 1,000-yard stare when he gets fucked up, and I look over and I just see you, and you're just like, my jewel died. And I'm like, what?
Oh, I didn't know where it was. I didn't know it was in the jacuzzi. I put it on the edge of the jacuzzi, but it turns out jacuzzis have slick edges. So then it fell in,
By the way, at what point did you realize, like, we should probably just leave? But we didn't end up leaving.
No.
It probably didn't even occur to you because you were fucked up.
I was like, I'm going to sleep here.
So let me also preface this. Let me go back a little bit. So the whole reason this gig came to be to begin with is because I got a DM from this girl who was the maid of honor for this girl's bachelorette party. And her exact words were, do you want to come do stand-up at a bachelorette party in Lake Burton? A lot of hot girls in bikinis, and we'll pay you. And so I'm like, well, yeah. But also I'm like, are we going to get fucking killed? Like, what's going on?
Yeah, and, in the woods.
And she said, you can bring a friend. So naturally I was like, well, of course I'm going to fucking take Khaled.
Sure.
This is going to be a good time.
Yep.
And so keep in mind, that is in the back of my head this whole time. You were too drunk to even like.
You could have killed me. I wouldn't have given a shit. You could have like said, yeah, I just wouldn't care.
So Khaled, by the time Khaled's in the hot tub, you're getting more fucked up. Like,
yeah.
So dude, you come back upstairs. I'm already changed at this point, so it's like everybody else, and you're just soaking wet in these fucking swim shorts you borrowed.
Yeah.
And you just plopped right down on this house was one of the nicest houses I've ever stayed in. I think it was probably worth like $2 million.
Yeah, now their couch is wet.
Yeah, you sat right on it, and I was like, hey, buddy, you think you want to maybe get changed? And you're like, I'm not wet. And I'm like, yeah, I think you are. I think you should probably. And then should we talk about
my balls? Yeah, that my balls fell out of my shorts, and I didn't notice. Because, and this isn't the first time it's happened. It used to happen in gym class because I would sit with my knees up when you're sitting on the floor against the wall. And one time everybody saw my balls because I couldn't tell. I wasn't seeing what they were seeing. They were looking down my sleeve. So this time with this gay guy's short bathing suit, my balls were just out of the sleeve altogether. I don't know why they're so long, but they are. And then I didn't notice it. And then everybody else did, right? You told me people took pictures and shit?
I don't know if anybody took pictures, but they were definitely pointing and laughing.
At my balls.
Yeah.
But I didn't notice because I was drunk. I had like 7 gin and orange juices. So then my balls are out. And then when I saw that my balls are out, I was so drunk that I was like I don't give a shit. It wasn't on purpose or anything.
Well, you kind of didn't care about any of what was going on. I think.
But then the next day I was embarrassed because I woke up. I was like, "What happened?" And when I was like, "Oh yeah, my balls were out," or you might have said something like, "Oh, I forgot that happened." The next day I was embarrassed, but in the moment I didn't give a shit that anybody saw my balls.
Well, another thing though that needs to be mentioned is that we should talk about Scary Kevin. We should talk about that.
Okay, so we don't know anybody at this party, but they all know each other, so they have these little inside jokes that there's nothing weirder than being 2 people that don't know a friend group, and they're still doing their inside jokes in front of you.
In fact, let me be clear. If any of them
there's no right reaction to have, because if you're uncomfortable, that makes them uncomfortable. Then if you're like, pretend like you're familiar with it, that's weird too.
Right. And the thing is, yeah, because they told me, the girl who hit me up about the show, that we could stay the night if we wanted to. So we were like more than welcome, but like, and no offense to like them if they're listening to this or something, like we had a good time.
We had a great time.
But it did kind of feel like we just kind of saw a glimpse into like people's lives that maybe we shouldn't have seen.
Yeah, we got to know them too fast.
And so at one point they were like, let's play Scary Kevin. And I'm like, what the fuck is that?
I already played Balls Out Khaled.
Yeah, but at this point it's like probably like 1 a.m. or something, and they turn the lights off and put on the Halloween Michael Myers music.
Yeah.
And they all start running and hiding. And like I looked for my keys because I had changed back into them, and I don't have my keys in my jeans. And so I started thinking about the Get Out thing, and then I'm thinking about earlier how when she was like, yeah, come on up, talking to the top of the mic, maybe adjust it.
Oh, is it no for me?
Oh, it's for Khaled. We got a note from our editor.
All right, I think this is better.
Well, you forgot you were dealing with me, the least slick podcast host in the business. So anyway, what were we talking about?
You couldn't find your keys.
Yeah, I couldn't find my keys, so I was thinking about Get Out, where Rogues, give me the keys. And I'm like, dude, okay, hold on. We don't know any of these people.
Yeah.
I remember they had a blow-up doll there because it was a bachelorette party, and it had like a real face printed on it. And I was like, is that the face of the last comedian that performed at one of these? Are they going to kill me and Khaled and have 2 blow-up dolls for the next people who fucking show up there?
Yeah, they had
Is fucking Nick going to be at one of these bachelor parties next being like, it's good to be here? No, Nick, no, it's not. They're going to kill you.
Yeah, right. I forgot every bachelorette party is also penis themed.
Yeah, they're all penis themed. And so now the Halloween music is happening. It's dark. They're all running. It's very unsettling. It might have been raining. And I remember I look over at you and you were like, I don't know. I don't know what to do. And because I thought, I was like, oh, Khaled will just like think this is funny or white people shit or something. And you were like, I don't know. And then you were like, I feel like David Lynch is taking a nap right now and we're in his dream.
Oh, for real?
Yeah. I thought that was very clever
Thank you.
Very accurate for what was going on.
Yeah, I mean, I like white people as much as the next person, but they do sometimes. They're just comfortable doing really weird stuff in front of like people they don't know. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Like weird inside joke type stuff. I mean, it's kind of like in high school, like with the nut tapping and like all that like kind of gay stuff that like really like broy bros do, where it's just confusing and you're like, why do you do this? a lot of that stuff, I just don't know how to react to sometimes. And that was one of their situations where it was like they're doing this thing, and they're clearly having a great time. But then I'm like drunk on a couch. I don't even know how to react. And then when I don't know how to react, I get in my head because I'm like, I don't want to look like an asshole, you know? If you don't know, you know?
Yeah, because you brought up to me, you were like, this is like beyond, this is a new level of like whiteness. And I was just like, yeah, dude, I know. Like that kind of white people shit, I am not around very often.
Yeah, I was like,
but
next
like
level.
I had been around it enough to be like, all right, I'm not sure. We're not in danger anymore. I'm 100% sure of that.
Yeah,
But this is a little weird.
Yeah,
We thought it ended up being completely fine.
Yeah, no, it was fine.
But when you're fucked up and you're in an unfamiliar environment like that.
My favorite white people party situation is either a bonfire or like funneling beer in somebody's dad's garage.
Funneling beer?
Yeah, do you know, like, there's something white people introduced me to, where you get like a pipe and you attach it to a funnel, and then you fill it up with beer while you have it kinked, and then somebody puts their mouth on it and they unkink it, and it shoots a beer down your throat. It's amazing.
I've done that maybe like once or twice. Normally my big thing was shotgunning beers.
Yeah, it kind of like getting intubated, like, you know, like people like when they get corona, they stick that shit down their throat. It's kind of like that, like, so you don't even feel the beer going down, so you don't even get that like nausea.
Dude, speaking of which, coronavirus.
Right?
Oh my god, dude. This is fucking insane.
I know. I had to call out from work because I had a stomach bug, but I didn't want them to think I had coronavirus, so I just was like, it's just diarrhea and throwing up. And they were like, but normally you wouldn't have to say any of that stuff. But if I was like, I'm just sick, then they're gonna be like, with what? And then they're gonna think corona, and then they're gonna like fire me. So I was like, I just have diarrhea. Like worse than usual.
Look, I'm proud of you, dude. You're being honest about your diarrhea. I mean,
I had diarrhea today.
Good for you, dude.
Well, yesterday I stayed. Today I had work, and then yesterday I stayed up watching Korean horror movies. Turns out it's a great genre of horror movie. And then so I was up till like 5. Had to wake up at 8. Showed up at work, drank 2 cups of coffee, which means I'm gonna have diarrhea 4 times. On average, like 1 cup of coffee is like 2 diarrheas.
The exchange rate of diarrhea.
It's like dollars to pounds. And so I had diarrhea 4 times at work. By the way, what's weird is I'm only comfortable having diarrhea in my own toilet or in the work toilet, which doesn't really make sense because the work toilet has a lot of traffic. For some reason, I don't care if customers smell my shit, but I don't want my friends to. And so I had diarrhea a whole bunch. And then, so now I'm exhausted because not only do I not have sleep, I'm also like coming off that, like, after you have diarrhea 4 times, you need a nap, but I haven't had a chance to.
That's really funny, Khaled. You said there's a lot of traffic in the bathroom. Do you have like a Waze? Do you have Waze? There's an app called Flush. It tells you where all the bathrooms are.
Well, we have 2.
It's for real. That's a real thing.
We have 1 toilet that's kind of in the cut, and then I use that one to diarrhea in.
You have diarrhea. Diarrhea in the cut, bro.
Diarrhea in the cut. I know, it sounds like a mixtape.
Man, I don't even know. Like, this is such a weird time. I hope this is fun to listen to. This has been fun to like be talking again.
Yeah, shit. My grandmother died. That happened.
My cousin died. People be dying.
Neither one of them from corona either.
Yeah, that's true.
Somebody with corona was at my grandmother's funeral too.
Oh yeah, let's talk about that first of all. Are you comfortable with talking about that?
Yeah, sure. She's just really. Apparently, when you get really old, you can just die from your body. Just stop slowly. It just stops doing what it's doing. So like your heart stops beating as fast and all this stuff. So that's how she died. Shit's just started shutting down. It's kind of like when I dropped my jewel in the jacuzzi. It kind of.
That's way to bring it full circle, Khaled.
It kept on working for a little bit, but then slowly but surely it gets harder to hit.
You gotta go to the Quick Trip and get a new grandma.
They're both $30.
Yeah, hearing aids are like jewel pods for old people. You can replace those, but at some point the whole thing just goes kaput.
I know. I thought it was bad. Is she like died in the house, so the ambulance came through, and they don't want to tell you like, look, she's dead. We're just gonna take. They're like, we're gonna take her to the hospital. I'm like, what?
It's a formality, but we're just gonna go ahead and.
It was a total formality hospital.
It's like they did it with the
She was
enthusiasm.
done by that
They
point.
took your grandma away with the enthusiasm of when the DQ people flipped the blizzard over to prove that it's frozen.
Oh,
You're like, look, company policy, kid. We gotta haul your grandma in.
Oh, and then the dumbass. I've never been to a funeral with a good funeral director, like the dude who speaks at the funeral. It was like it was outdoors, and this guy was talking. This old Southern man. He doesn't know shit about my grandmother. She just moved
Probably
to
one of very
America.
few white people at this funeral.
He is mainly Lebanese and.
Yeah. So were they kind of like mad about like that? There's just some fucking Bubba up there, just
No, because I mean, where you gonna find an Arab guy that isn't gonna chant the Quran at you for 30 minutes?
I don't know. I've never
That's what
looked.
they do. Yeah, it's hard. They're not. You can't find an ad. But this guy, he didn't know anything about her, so he's just kind of like guessing what it was like. and at one point, he went down this like fucking rabbit hole where he was kind of like shitting on my grandmother.
What?
Yeah, he goes. I hope he hears this shit. Fuck that guy. He was like, in the Bible, there's a story of Joseph or Paul or some shit like that. Kyle, and he was like,
There's not a Kyle.
there's not a Kyle in the Bible. That's like after. Anyway, he was like, and this guy, he wasn't the most handsome guy in the village. He wasn't the smartest person in the village. Because he's doing village analogies since my grandmother is from a village. So he picked a village analogy. And I was like saying like, what are you trying to say about my? Because he's basically saying like your grandmother wasn't the smartest person in the village. I was like, first off, she was, and he's like, I mean, she may not have been the most popular person in the village because that's what fucking Joseph or whatever was. And so I was like, what? So he was using that as a metaphor to describe her. And I mean, my sister was saying like, what the fuck, dude? And then my mom, he kept on fucking up my mom's name because my mom's name is Gada, which is Ghada. And he kept on saying Jihada.
Oh.
I know.
Oh, dude.
I know.
Oh, dude.
It's like a fucking ISIS prom date name. Like,
Jesus, that's like on Family Guy with fucking when Tom Tucker's like.
He goes Jihada, and then he goes, and if I'm mispronouncing that, just correct me later after the funeral. Why would I correct you after the funeral? That doesn't make sense. But I didn't say anything because it's.
And then didn't you say he peppered in like a little Corona?
In a little Corona conspiracy too, yeah. He's like, we just don't have gatherings like this anymore. Part of it may be because of this pandemic. And he did this like, he changed his tone a little bit, where you could tell so it wasn't anything like stark, but he changed his tone in a way.
It wasn't stark, but he changed his tone just enough to let everyone know that he thinks coronavirus.
It's like if Tucker Carlson was saying like the stats on people dying, they're like, they say it's 180,000. And you're like, why are you saying they say? Just say it is. Oh, that guy pissed me off.
Oh, man.
And I knew he was good. When there was an old Southern white guy doing the funeral for this old Arab woman, I know somebody's going to fuck something up. We're not going to get out of this shit scot-free. You know? He's going to, yeah. But it's whatever. It's a funeral.
At a certain point, though, can I ask you something, though? Like, I remember when my grandpa died, like, I remember being really, like, upset about it. But, like, the whole family got together and all that.
Yeah.
And dude, it was, like, a process. Because it's really upsetting, you know?
Yeah.
And then, but it does get to a point where, like where if something, well, that, and then also, like, what you said with the guy talking shit about your grandma or making the little coronavirus joke, doesn't it get to a point a little bit where you're like, all right, at least something kind of weird happened. Like, you know what I mean? Because, like, I remember when my grandpa died, his neighbor, like, so all of his kids were all there, right? My Uncle Steve couldn't make it, but his wife stood in. It was, like, a really sweet moment. And they all, like, said stuff about him. And then they opened it up to other people. And then so my grandpa's neighbor, this old woman who I had, come to think of it, never met, even though I had stayed with my grandparents a million times.
Yeah.
And she's like, I remember Bill used to come over and prune my bushes. That's which maybe she meant. I mean, I'm sure she meant prune her bushes, but just immediately the way she said that, I just looked at my cousin and was just like, hell yeah, let's fucking go, dude. And then she keeps going and she's like, and there was one time we went to the Waffle House, and he was like really cheap, and my Nana heard that and got sultan face. And then my uncle walks in and is literally like, oh God, all right, okay. And I've never actually seen somebody do that in real life, and I was really excited about that. Like, just funny. Be like, all right, see you later.
Yeah. You're like telling him to get the fuck out, but like with a pleasantness.
So I guess what I'm saying is, I mean, did you find that funny then? Or probably not. I mean, probably in the moment you were like,
Every funeral, I laugh at some shit about it. Like one of my friends, he killed himself before he like did anything with his life. He's like 20 and died. So,
Well, thank you for being so like gentle about how you talk about it.
But
I'm just fucking with you.
They didn't have much to say about him, so they're just like he loved pizza. They kept talking about how he loved pizza.
Really?
Yeah. The another
dude.
Southern guy. He was like, "You see this pen in my hand? This is what this kid. I don't want to say his name." But he was like, this is what this kid, he's in the hands of God now, like this pen in my hand, and probably got a slice of pizza. And everybody's like...
He did a pizza callback?
He did a pizza callback.
I mean, dude...
It's like he didn't like pizza, he was a delivery boy. They thought he just liked pizza. He doesn't have a pizza fetish, it's his job to drive pizza to people.
Dude. Oh, man.
I know.
I don't know what I'm going to do. I think, like, I don't know.
For what
At my funeral, I want just easy. Just make a little PowerPoint of pictures of me and then put the song In My Life by the Beatles in the background.
That's a good song for that.
And then call it a day.
Yeah.
It's fine.
What's a weird song choice for the funeral slideshow?
Why? It's about...
I don't know what is a weird song.
Oh, living after midnight.
I would laugh if it was like just like
Thriller, I would say.
Or the Mama Say Mama Sa Makusa shit. The Michael Jackson, the soft Thriller. Anyway, besides that one, I think Toxic by Britney Spears.
I only speak English, Khaled. I've never heard of that song.
No, they do a little chant thing.
Okay.
I think Toxic by Britney Spears, I think that would get the crowd cracking up.
That would be kind of funny, yeah. Especially like it's just because you have a sentimental slideshow, so it's them like hugging their kids or like playing baseball or whatever. But it's dum, 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 dum. There's probably worse ones though. I could think of one. Oh, I got one.
What?
I hate everything about you. Why do I love you?
Oh, that'd be great. Maybe for yours.
Who do you think's gonna die first, me or you?
I don't want to say you, but I think it's gonna be you.
I think it'll probably be me.
I don't know why. I feel like I think it's because I'm shorter.
You seem you have like
shorter people live long.
You have enduring qualities about you, and when I say that, I don't mean like strength or vigor. I mean more like
you can see me looking like this for a long time.
You'll endure the way that like a Twinkie will endure. If that makes sense.
Yeah. They don't go bad, but they also don't start off that great. It's probably like
just like you, Khaled.
Yeah, I'll take that. That's kind of something that I look for. Is that I don't know why I feel like this, but I feel like generally speaking, I'm gonna look like this for a long time.
I told you, bro. If you're not careful, it's a very slippery slope.
To fat?
Yeah.
Yeah,
yes.
it is. Yeah, it is.
But not just fat, like Azamat territory.
Oh, I can't. No, I can't let that happen. Azamat from Borat?
Yes.
I could easily become that if I wanted to. If I just ate like cold cuts and like didn't do sit-ups or anything, I would be like his. Well, you ever seen pictures of your parents and you see the age that they fell off at?
That's funny. That is hilarious. I haven't pinpointed a year. But
my dad is like 94. He fell off. You're like, oh.
Oh, and you were born in 95, so it's your fault.
I made my mom fall off. Like, she's told me that. I made her fat.
You should be ashamed of yourself. You should call her up.
It's her fault.
For fucking.
For fucking.
Yeah, that's what you get. That's what you get for making Khaled. Is that you're fat now in your face.
You know what's funny? My grandmother, the one that's dead.
Sure.
She delivered all her kids in the house.
I don't know why that's funny. It's just the way you said it.
If I was a woman, I would not let anybody come in me.
She would deliver kids in the house, but she makes us use coasters.
One's gonna leave a bigger watermark on the table.
Time out, everybody. Time out. This is fun.
It's such a silly timer.
I'm wet. I'm covered in fucking seltzer. I'm breaking the microphone. I have my jewel in my hand for some reason. I haven't hit this thing in like 30 minutes.
Oh man. All right, we should put
And
that
you
in.
couldn't hear any of that because I'm an idiot. Oh my god. I missed this, and it happened in the middle of me being like, I miss doing this. Oh fuck yeah, dude. I'm sorry I broke your stuff, dude.
But imagine.
Can you hear me now? Is everything good? Okay.
Imagine the balls.
What were we talking about? Oh
Giving
yeah.
birth in the house and not even on some like, oh, there's a midwife. Like, there's no safety net. Like, if it just goes bad, now you're just in the house. There's blood everywhere.
Placenta.
Placenta.
Her placenta falls to the floor.
Have you seen a video of somebody giving birth?
The confusion that was hers
No, I'm sorry.
belongs now to the baby down the hall.
What song
And
are you singing?
that's Lightning Crashes by Live.
Is that like an 80s band?
No, they're from the 90s. Whatever. You're the baby down the hall because you weren't born in the house.
No, and I was born in Augusta. They didn't have hospitals.
I wasn't born in a house. I was born in Augusta.
Over there wasn't any hospitals, so you had to give birth in the house. It just sounds scary. And all the kids, and so it's like, I just wouldn't fuck at all. I'd be too nervous about dying. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes your vagina tears into your asshole. Did you know that's a thing?
Yeah. There's a word for it, but I can't remember what it is. Like the surgery to fix it.
It's probably an easy surgery. They just sew up your taint.
I don't know what it's actually called, like when it happens, but I'm sure there's some kind of stupid nickname on Urban Dictionary where like that's a Texas napkin accident.
Yeah. You're like a West Virginia magic trick.
That's a good one.
Thanks.
That's a pretty good one. That's a pretty good one.
Man. Whew. Well, that was fun.
What? Just that little
Just that whole
little
couple
thing?
minutes, yeah.
Bro, should we talk about like what's going on or nah?
Oh, with the race stuff?
Yeah. I feel like we should.
I mean, I feel like we can't say anything that other people don't already.
Yeah,
you know?
because I feel like
haven't already said it.
probably a lot of people who listen to it probably feel already how like we do or whatever.
Yeah.
But my thing is just like, if we don't talk about it, it's not because we don't care. It's just because like it might not be that funny to talk about. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The only thing I thought of that maybe might be kind of funny to say about all this is people are like, well, why aren't people protesting now? You know?
Yeah.
I think it's because they're scared. Because we saw what happened last time. There was, dude, the army was everywhere.
I know.
That's fucking insane. But do you feel like we talked about this last night, and I want to ask you this: do you think that a lot of like specifically like white people came out and protested in support of this for the same reason that you would like give blood in high school? It's not because you want to give blood, but you just want to get out of class. They wanted to get
out of pandemic.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It sounds
maybe.
fucked up, but like part of me is like, I wonder.
I don't know.
I hope not. I hope people aren't that fucking.
I don't know what people's intentions are. I mean, because there is some weird shit. Like, I went to the protests because I felt bad for what was going on, and you want to show support. Then, but I remember we went to this one protest in Decatur, and they had these like new Black Panthers speak, and then they went up and spoke, and then later on they found out they weren't even real Black Panthers or anything. Like the Black Panthers were like, who the fuck are those people? They just are claiming shit, you know? And they had like guns and stuff, but then it turns out they're all like models and stuff. Like none of them had anything to do with race stuff. And then there was a picture of them holding hands with like arms around cops and shit. So I was like, what type of weird, is this like police sanctioned weird like Black, it just creeped me the fuck out. And also something I did notice is that during their speeches, those speeches weren't that good. Like, when you think of Black Panthers in general, you think of great speeches.
Stokely Carmichael, Fred Hampton, Huey Newton, all these people, like, they know how to speak and, like, move people. But then these people are like, oh, it's things are not going too good right now. Like, they were Huey Lewis and the Newtons.
yeah, they couldn't, like, finish their thoughts well. And so when I found out that they were, and I was thinking that at the time, and then later on I found out that they were faking it. They were faking being Black Panthers. I was like, that was weird. And then, I mean, in terms of the white people, I don't know. I saw Arabs on horses I don't know why they were there, but that was cool.
That does sound pretty cool.
But yeah, I don't know why people show up. I think a lot of it is genuine. I hope so, at least.
Yeah, I didn't mean to say that to sound like cynical or whatever. I don't know. Part of me just is like, I fucking wonder, because the only reason why I say that is because now I feel like not a lot of people are talking about this.
I was
but it's also just like, Jesus fucking Christ, like, again, God damn it. Like, I'm sorry, we're getting serious here on opinions and shit. But
one thing that was cool though about it, because I don't know if you saw like, because I saw these statuses that were like, talk to your family if they're racist and stuff. And then my family, like, I'm talking about like my grandmothers, they're in this weird gray area where they'll say dicey stuff in passing.
Yeah.
But because my grandmother, she was alive when I told her about all the shit getting burned down and all that. And she was, even though they say dicey shit, they're like, I'm glad they're burning shit down, because they come from a place where they understand you have to burn shit down to get changes. Because my grandfather did that shit. He was burning shit down to try to, because that's the only way that people will listen, is if everything's on fire. Because then they're like, all right, they clearly mean business, you know?
Well, you heard it here on opinions and shit. Burn it all down.
Yeah. But
Jesus, man. It's pretty. It's wild, man. We'll see what happens. I guess the NBA and the NHL postponed the playoffs for 2 days.
Yeah.
The NBA felt a little more like genuine.
Even hockey did, right?
Yeah, hockey did it, and I'm glad that they did it. But it was interesting. Like, it was I read a report about what was going on. I was just reading it, and it was like, Ryan Reeves, who is black, says that this was a good idea. That was like a part of it, and I was just like, Jesus, bro.
Yeah. I don't know. What did NASCAR do? Did they stop?
I don't know. I mean, I know they banned using the Confederate flag.
Yeah. It's something I know about my hometown, is that the there's a house next to a gas station. Always had a Confederate flag, and they took it down. But then there's just been this weird thing in the South where I don't know why, but all these white people have crosses in front of their houses now. I don't know what the fuck that is about. Like, when I came back into my neighborhood.
Well, because they believe the Lord is a-coming, and they need to let him know
but why not?
which houses are holy and which houses are for sinners.
But they've always thought that. Like, why now are we putting cross? Like, I was like,
because they see all this protest shit, and they think that it's the fucking apocalypse, dude. People really think like that.
Old white people are very scared right now. I have this. I get this from good sources. My friends who have old white parents have told me they're scared that, like, minorities and communists are going to come beating down their door. And I was like, why do they think that? And he goes, well, they watch Tucker Carlson. So I was like, I want to watch Tucker Carlson. So I watched it. And I was like, oh, yeah, this is why.
I've never bothered. I just know if I watch it, it's just going to piss me off. So I don't even fucking deal with it.
Oh, I always watch contrary shit just to see what, like, people who think differently are watching.
I mean, I feel like that's a good idea.
Yeah.
But I get enough of that because, I mean, again, like a lot of my friends I grew up with in Woodstock are like still kind of conservative. So
yeah.
I'm like, I get enough of that shit.
And I don't have Fox News parents to annoy me all the time. So I just watch it. I watched it. And by the way, after I watch it, I always get like Trump texts now. But I just watched it to see, and they had on those two white people that stood on their front yard in St. Louis.
Yeah.
And pointed the guns.
Yeah.
And they had them on to talk about how scared they were. They were like, well, there was a gate that comes to the neighborhood, and they broke down the gate. So I told my wife to go get the pistol, and I got my AR or whatever, like a little Uzi. And they were just talking about like how nervous they are, and then Tucker was like, that does sound really scary, and this can happen to any one of you, and this, that, and the other. And then all these old white people are like, what? They get all nervous, and then it's like this snowball effect, and they're just getting afraid of shit that, like, they don't really need to be that afraid about. Nobody's going to beat down their doors. Antifa isn't scary. I don't even know if they're organized at all. They're like a Facebook group at this point.
Bro, I don't know either, man. It's just all so weird. And then I feel like there's some people where, like, and again, I don't know if this is good or bad, but like I'll be out at these protests, and then it just feels like there's a lot of like white people who want to use this as an opportunity to like live out their little Fight Club fantasies, you know? Where like, yeah, maybe fucking burning it down is the right thing to do. I don't know. But like, I'm like just sitting there being like, isn't this here because we're like care about black people and shit?
Oh,
like,
yeah, because then you had the people that were inciting the burnings, like that one cop that burned down the AutoZone in fucking wherever this shit started.
And
Like
again, I don't know.
Minnesota.
I don't know what's right and what fucking doesn't work. All I
Yeah.
know is I'm fucking sick and tired of fucking seeing this shit.
Yeah, a lot of the burning and like those pallets of bricks that were put outside, the cops did it because they did the same shit in Syria. That my uncle told me about this. Is that the government wanted to kill the citizens because there is an uprising happening, but they didn't want to just start shooting them in the face because then it's bad press and then the West can get involved. So what they were doing is that they just threw a bunch of guns on steps and they were like, let's see what happens, like a bait car except with like automatic weapons. And everybody's like, nope, not touching it. They just walked around it. And so they're like, fuck, now we have to start shooting them. And they did, you know? And then that's how they started ISIS, too. My uncle broke that down. Is that when you're a big enemy, you want to create a worse enemy so more people are for you. So he said that the government released all these mental, like, fucking lunatics from the prisons and weaponized them and stuck them in the middle of the desert and just financed them and gave them money to start like creating like starting to like become a presence. So the citizens of Syria, when they're like, I'm against the government, they can be like, well, if you're against us, then you're clearly for them since that's the opponent. Like the same thing about how people hate Biden and Trump. So they're like, so they made it worse, and then that's how that shit started, and then now that's a big fucking mess, you know. And so they're trying to do that same shit here with the pallets of bricks outside, because if you grab a brick, now they can fuck you up, versus if you didn't have a brick in your hand, you know. Well, they'll still fuck you up, but they're more likely to if you have a brick,
Right.
you know.
I'm so fucking high right now, dude. You have just blown my mind.
I know I said a lot, but
I'm serious. SYRIOUS.
there's something to do. Yeah, I mean, I've been smoking weed a lot too.
Damn, dude. How long have we been recording, Jace?
36 minutes.
Okay, hell yeah. We got more to talk about.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I didn't mean to derail it talking about all that. I just felt like we fucking should.
No, it's cool. I mean, I was glad to talk about it. That was
Yeah.
another nice thing is about understanding the Arab situation from somebody who was like there and just got here.
Mhm.
Because then you get this whole different perspective that like over here, you're just not going to hear it on the news because CNN or Fox News isn't going to talk about that. I don't know. Maybe they do. I've never watched them. Except for Tucker that one time.
We're filming this. I know a lot of people are probably like listening to this, but I feel like my body language is very uncomfortable. Do I appear uncomfortable on screen, Jace?
You look pretty good. You want to see it?
Well, now I mean, but earlier I've just been sitting like fucking like this.
No, it's just your high brain talking to you.
Oh yeah, whatever. Anyway,
No, the first times you smoke weed, you always think like you're doing a weird thing. But then the more you do it,
look at us. Look at us go. Oh my, yeah, I have a fucking tattoo. We could talk about that.
oh yeah.
I didn't have it. I wasn't tattooed the last time we did the podcast. It's 3. I got
Yeah.
3 of them in there.
Yeah, how was that? Was it fun?
Yeah, honestly, yeah, it was pretty great. I liked doing it a lot more than I thought that I would.
I know you talk about like sometimes you regret it.
It's not that I
What's
regret.
the ratio of the time spent regretting it versus the time spent being like, that's pretty cool?
Very low in terms of regretting it. It's just like it's. I feel like everybody who has a tattoo would fucking say that.
Yeah.
I think it's just because it's my first one and I got a fucking half sleeve on my
Yeah.
arm, and but no, I think mostly it's just I'll get high. If I'm not high, I don't even think about it.
Would you ever get like a dumb tattoo, like just something on your ass cheek that nobody will see just for the fuck of it?
Probably not.
Really? Like I would kind of like want well, this is the problem is my ass is too hairy to put anything on it. That's a nice
I
thing
mean,
about
there's
it.
some people who would argue that the tattoo I have now is a dumb tattoo. So it's all relative.
Wait, it's a hockey team, right?
Well, kind of, yeah. It's a fucking bird perched on a hockey stick with maple leafs at the top and a fucking dogwood flower at the bottom. It's a bunch of Georgia shit except for some Canada shit at the top.
Oh, that's kind of
Brown
nice.
thrasher's the state bird.
Is that like a flower, Georgia
And I have it
flower?
perched on a hockey stick instead of a tree as a tribute to the Atlanta Thrashers.
Man, I really love those Atlanta Thrashers.
And tattoos. I wanted one forever, and I told myself if I still wanted one when I was 25, I would get one.
Aren't you worried though that like, remember how the tramp stamp was real big, and then now if you have a tramp stamp, people think you're like a little slut. And then I feel like the sleeve tattoo. Are you worried like the sleeve tattoo? Like, 10 years from now, people are gonna look at it like the way they look at like Limp Bizkit or like just that general culture? Like it's gonna fall out of style.
Maybe, but I mean, I don't really care.
Oh, that's good.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If I was that worried about it, like, yeah, sometimes I'll get high and be like, damn, I have a fucking half sleeve. What the fuck?
Yeah.
But like, no, I thought about it a lot before I did it and was like, yeah, there are going to probably be people that think this is stupid or like whatever.
I think though.
So I thought about that all ahead of time.
But you got it in the time frame. Like if I met somebody who got a tramp stamp in the 90s when you were supposed to get one, then if they have it now, I don't really judge them. But if you got a tramp stamp
My
now,
tramp sleeve.
yeah, if you got a tramp stamp now, then I would judge the sleeve era of tattooing. So if if it falls out of style later, it's like, well, I didn't know better. Like, it makes sense.
Well, and another thing too is like I can just wear long sleeves.
Yeah, that's it. That too.
It's not that big of a deal.
I don't know. I feel like if I got a tattoo, my mom would cry, but I don't even know why she would.
Yeah, I'm getting it colored in like a week.
Damn. That shit sounds like it's gonna hurt.
I've heard that, but I don't know. I mean, the thing is, I'm like, well, it's already there. Might as well fucking
Somebody
color it in.
scratching ink into your bicep.
That's what they do.
Man.
What if I'm just like, I only have like one of the leaves colored in? I was like, this was a bad idea. I shouldn't have gotten it colored in. This shit fucking hurts.
I think it's so stupid people that get like their significant others tattooed on their chest. You know?
Yeah.
Because probably when you break up, Harvey's like, can we please stay together? Because I have this fucking shit.
What is that? That fucking line from that Eminem song. My next girlfriend, now her name's gotta be Kim. Shit.
Oh, shit, I never heard
You
that one.
don't know how sick you make me.
Is this
You
like
make me fucking sick to my stomach. It's off of the
the one with the pills on the cover?
no.
What's that one? Relapse.
It was off of Encore.
Oh, Encore. Dude, listening back to Eminem, I'm like, I
Did you like Eminem or were you just young?
think I was just young.
I don't know though, man. I don't know.
Back to it, it sounds like kind of like people talk about Dr. Dre's production. It sounds like clowny.
But sometimes you don't feel like your father. You hate to be bothered with all this nonsense. It's content. Now it's his lyrical content. The song "Guilty Conscience" has gotten such rotten responses. You never.
Yeah,
feel
no,
that
I mean
way,
that's clever shit. But like,
you know what? My favorite one was not the index or pinky or the ring or the thumb. It's the one you put up when you don't give a fuck.
Oh yeah.
I like that one a lot.
You know what beat I hate the most?
What beat you hate?
Yeah.
Can I guess?
Yeah.
Na 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 na.
No. That one's
I actually kind of like that one.
No, I hate the way I am. It starts off with like it's like this piano riff that reminds me of like spider webs for some reason.
The church. It starts off with church bells. Boom, boom.
And then it goes in that piano riff like zigzags and that, and then the feel and the bleed, and it's like it just annoys me. It's like pestering, and I get that he's a good rapper, but there's like no bounce to it. It's just like it's like too I don't know. It's like watching a drum solo, where after a while you're like, I get it.
He said radio won't even play his jam, but it was on the radio.
Yeah, it's just on oldies and goodies and shit now.
Well, yeah, but it was on the radio when the radio mattered.
Yeah.
Video killed the radio star, but YouTube killed everything.
I hate how big of a fall off there is when you listen to current hip hop radio and the old school station. They don't ever get the in between, you know? So it's like you're either listening to fucking like Lil Baby, and then you're like, well, I want to listen to like something like I grew up with. So you put on the other one, and it's like Salt and Pepper, and you're like, not 1989. How about something like like we need.
Let's meet in the middle. How about a little Missy Elliott here?
Yeah. Or maybe like Juvenile or something. You know, like we don't have to be like we don't have to go back to like fucking like like basketball is my favorite sport, and I'm such a little fucking dork when I dribble my ball, and I'm fucking and it's like so annoying. It's like
Khaled taking some serious shots at the Grandmaster flag.
No, who was that?
Or
That's
no,
Curtis
that's not.
Blow.
You're right, Curtis Blow. Excuse
I watched a
me.
lot of hip hop,
and I should have known because his name is Curtis, and he's here to say.
I don't know why I keep on watching hip hop documentaries. I'm like, this is just gonna say the same shit the other one did. Every time there's a new, it's like food documentaries on Netflix. There's like 7 of them. And then you can watch them, and it's all the same shit, but I keep on watching them.
Well, it sounds like you're addicted, and you need to break the habit, buddy.
Oh, speaking of Netflix, did you see that little? They got in trouble for they put those 10-year-olds twerk contest.
Dude, okay, so I was on Netflix
What's
one
that
time
about?
and I saw just the poster for it.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the fuck? It looked
What
like
are these
kids.
hot kids doing on my stream?
No,
Oh.
it looked like kids in fucking cheerleader outfits. And I was
Yeah.
like, the fuck? And the show was called Cuties.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Do you think like
Oh man.
I don't know. I haven't seen the show, so I don't fucking know what it is. But it's like, that's fucking insane.
Yeah, it's gonna be like the Kids Bop version of twerking.
Oh god.
How do you Kids Bop twerk? You know, like I get how you can censor a song, but how can you twerk less suggestively?
I don't know.
There's no way to do it. So it's children twerking.
I think it's just if you twerk when you're a white person.
What would you do if you went over to somebody's house and they go on Netflix and you see they're recently watched, and the first one that comes up is the twerking kids? Would you be like,
It would be. I'd say something.
You'd have to say something.
I would say something, or maybe just leave.
I have diarrhea. SpongeBob reference.
It just, I don't know,
I would
man.
just have to say something. I'd be like, why did you watch that?
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. Do you think it's for people who also like the Epstein documentary?
Oh yeah, well it's totally different because that one the Epstein documentary is like investigative. This one's just like kids dancing, and you can't be like, oh, I just really like the competitive aspect of it. Like, do you?
Yeah, no, I don't know about that.
11-year-olds.
There was an issue with that with Little League Baseball, I think.
What? Kids were too hot? No, I'm just kidding.
No, people like watching it being like, yeah, it's the competition, but it's like, well, is
Oh,
your
fan
kid
of the-
playing in it or
Yeah.
something? Or like, you know someone who goes to that school? No? All right,
Just
well
showing
then.
up, that should be illegal.
Yeah.
It's just unwanted. The
If I had a kid, right, who played Little League
I'll go to
and
your
some
kid game.
adult that I did not know
yeah.
walked up and was like, I'm your kid's biggest fan,
Number
I would
11
be
really
I would
cool.
be like, you're paying for the OnlyFans like everybody else. You're not coming to these fucking games and getting pictures of him.
I know. You can subscribe for free, but you have to pay to unlock.
That's fucked up. That's maybe the most fucked up joke I've ever made.
I like OnlyFans. I've talked about this a couple times. OnlyFans, my favorite like who I find most attractive is like late 30s black women.
Yes.
Generally speaking, as a who gets my gears going the most is usually that, race, and age. And you can't find good black MILF stuff on Pornhub because if you look up that shit on Pornhub, all the videos are super grainy. They're from old. It's like right when the VCR was the shit. And so it's either that or it's like just the worst people you've ever. They're like, there's no just like the people that you see at the store. And then OnlyFans has them. Oh, they're all on OnlyFans. Just fucking dildoing themselves in their SUVs. Like, I'm in the mall parking lot today. I got
No, dude. Is that really?
That's the new trend, is busting a nut at the mall parking lot. It'd be so funny if you were to knock on the door and it was the mall police. They're like, hey, stop jerking off. But it's for my OnlyFans.
Oh, sorry.
Carry
Do you
on.
have a business license?
They just go away on their little, what's that? What's the thing you lean on? It's
The rascal? No, what is it called? Segway.
Oh, it's not an Escalade. It's a Segway. Yeah.
Ma'am.
It would be funny if he segued past your car and then he like was like, wait a minute, and he reverses.
Oh yeah. He gives you the old.
Oh,
I don't know
man.
if I'm even doing that right.
There's nothing funnier than mall police.
I mean, they're probably like watching it, but paying for it on OnlyFans, even though it's right there.
Oh yeah.
They're over in the corner. He's like, "Well, can I get your OnlyFans?"
Oh, I know. And the thing that I like about these MILFs too is that it's
Wait,
it's affordable. It's affordable what they're doing, because some of these
No, I agree.
some of these younger people will be like $20 to subscribe and all that shit. You're like, well, fuck all that shit. But then these ones they'll be like $4. I squirted in my car for $4, and you're like, okay.
It was the hit on the table.
Yeah.
That's amazing, dude. And it's like, they're setting the prices, so they're getting the money that they want,
probably make a lot of money. So many of them say Atlanta's their location too, which is pretty cool. So I'm like, oh, we're close by. It'd be funny if I ran into them.
Hey, I'm one of your OnlyFans.
One of your OnlyFans. Man. I think everybody's gonna. Wait, sorry, what were you gonna say?
That's just an interesting situation. Like, you know how like people like fan encounters, you know? Imagine only fan encounters.
Oh man. I bet they're I don't know, they actually might be pretty creepy. Some of the comments though, it's funny because all the comments are like men trying to sweet talk them. They'll be like, just being like, this is so lovely. Like they'll say words that are like too romantic for what this person is doing.
Oh yeah, saved lovely for Facebook and Instagram.
Yeah.
This is OnlyFans.
Yeah, meanwhile, like the description was like, got horny at a kickback and started masturbating in their bathtub, and then there's like lovely, and then like cat faces. It's like, no, this isn't lovely. This is like heathenist, but we enjoy it. He should say, I don't know what he should say. He's just not, If I saw one of them.
Hi, my name is Khaled Elchoufi, and this is OnlyFans etiquette. This is my master class.
I wouldn't say anything to any one of them if I saw. Oh, I don't know. I might say like, "Hey, I'm on." No, I probably wouldn't say anything.
No.
It's kind of like I had that same thing when I saw T.I. in person. When I was waiting for you to get out of the bathroom at 85 South Show.
Oh, the one time you saw T.I.? I'll have you know I've seen him 4 times.
I wanted to say hi, but then I just didn't. I was like, this would just be weird.
You should have said hello.
He had a conversation very close to my vicinity. Not with me or anybody. He's just having a conversation. It was him and Young Dro and like a few other people, and they're all talking. But I'm like just close. Like I just happened to be standing closely. And I was just like trying not to stare at him.
Dude, how awesome was that show, by the way?
That was awesome. I felt like I was getting to do some shit that like I wasn't supposed to get to do. Like when you go to like this it kind of felt like VIP-ish, Like
That you're just saying that because it was free.
Yeah, it was free, but then it was like in this nice concert hall, like where all the pictures on the wall were of cellists that have played there.
This place got pictures of cellists. This kicks ass. Yeah, it was at the Atlanta Symphony Hall or whatever.
Yeah.
That was the coolest part to me is that like
everybody's smoking blunts in the crowd.
In the crowd, which was amazing. At the same place that I went on like a field trip to see like Peter and the Wolf bassoon solo.
Yeah.
Fucking crazy. So
it felt cool because it was like, I don't know. It was like, you'd expect to come here and like hear somebody do a sonata or some shit. Instead you come there, T.I. goes up there with Young Dro, they do shoulder lean, and everybody's smoking weed in the crowd. Everything was a surprise, and then the show was just good. It was fun.
Oh shit, I see what it is. It's this thing.
Yeah.
These the mic clips are kind of iffy. Just saying. It's like it's really teetering.
Well, we don't have that much time left. You can probably make do with it.
I know. I'm the diva of the podcast. Hey,
Wait.
Jace.
Is it too loose right now?
No,
No.
it's fine.
We only got like 5 more minutes.
It's fine as is. We're wrapping it up. So now that we're wrapping up the podcast, let's rap.
No.
That's how I start my beatboxing.
That's a common like.
I hope I don't look stupid, bro. I think maybe I'm gonna just release the audio only of this, and then use the really. I don't know, man.
Everybody freestyles.
I'm gonna cut it up into clips though, for sure.
Everybody freestyle. Like I only will freestyle if I'm drunk. It brings it out in you, whatever confidence.
I wish you would have freestyled at that bachelorette party. That would have fucking been amazing.
No, I'm not even good at it. It's just.
Bro, you know what you looked like? This is a very specific reference, and I know we talked about this literally like 50 minutes ago in that fucking episode, but when you were soaked from the jacuzzi walking around, you remember in Billy Madison when the bad guy goes to confront the principal who used to be a wrestler?
No, but just still say it because they might know, whoever's listening.
Well, whatever. I mean, then whatever. You looked like that because he was soaking wet in a bathing suit. That's all there is to it.
I don't.
But then he's like, "Well, didn't you do blah blah blah?" And the guy's like, "No, look at do this."
Oh,
It's like this.
guy?
It's this big fat guy. Yeah, you're a big fat wet guy, wrestler who sat on somebody's head and killed him.
Yeah, well, I mean, dude,
I was in jacuzzi. It's
Oh,
free
can I say
alcohol.
one thing? Can I say one thing that you did, bro?
What?
Just one thing that you did.
Uh-huh.
The girl that you were talking to, the lesbian girl.
Yeah.
It's always
No.
painful to hear like something you did.
Okay,
wrong
we
because
can
you're like,
we
No,
can
no, no,
cut
you
it
gotta
out.
say you already started.
It's
What
not
is it?
that bad. I just thought it was funny.
What I
One of
did.
my favorite things that you do when you get drunk. It's the thing I like most and least about when you get really fucked up. Is that you will just get so dismissive as soon as you feel like there's nothing left for you and whatever you're doing. And so you were talking to this girl and like on a dime. She's like, yeah, something, my girlfriend, something, and then it very quickly changed from like, oh yeah, and she's like, oh, my girlfriend, something, yeah, sure. Sure.
Oh man.
And it really made me laugh.
I know. This is funny. We went to this hot woman party, and the first question anybody asks you afterwards is like, "Oh, so what did you do?" I was like, "Nothing. I drank in a jacuzzi with the guy that I'm borrowing his bathing trunks in." Because we drank them, and then it's like I just wanted to stay in the jacuzzi, so whoever's keeping me company, it was like cool, But I mean, no, it was fun.
Dude, we got to do stand up, made some money,
Made some money.
got in a jacuzzi.
Yeah, that's not often I get to go in jacuzzi. I don't know.
I guess we're probably done, man. This
think
felt
so.
good. This felt good.
felt
I feel
good.
like we got it still.
Yeah.
How was it as a listener, Jace?
There was some really good moments.
That's
Yeah.
his way of saying some of it wasn't very good.
So
Well, you
mostly
can't-
it goes like this. I think that's how you
That's how it always is gonna go.
It ebbs and flows here on Opinions and Shit.
Every podcast does.
Hell yeah.
You know what I mean?